Good morning, welcome to the Daily News podcast. Today is August 4th, 2026.
The big story this morning is in Europe, where EU leaders are calling for tougher borders after a surge of migrant crossings into Ceuta, Spain's enclave in North Africa. That spike has reopened one of the bloc's most politically charged arguments: how to manage migration, how hard to lean on border enforcement, and how to handle relations with Morocco, which sits right at the center of this route. Expect this to move fast from humanitarian concern to hard policy debate, because for Europe this is never just about one border town. It's about internal politics, pressure on asylum systems, and whether member states can agree on a common response at all.
And every time this issue flares up, it exposes the same fault lines inside the EU. Border control is one thing, but getting 27 countries to agree on burden sharing is the real fight. Staying overseas, Iran says it is talking with Oman, not directly with the United States, after President Trump said negotiations were set to resume. That contradiction matters because markets have been trading on the idea that tensions might cool, especially with oil in focus. At the same time, analysts are warning that threats to oil tankers in the Middle East are now the worst since the start of the Iran war, with risks spreading beyond the main shipping lanes. So the message this morning is pretty simple: diplomacy sounds active, but the region still looks extremely fragile, and energy traders know one attack at sea can overwhelm a week of optimistic headlines.
Right, and that gap between diplomatic messaging and what's happening on the water is exactly why oil traders are still nervous. Hope is one thing, shipping risk is another. Back in the US, markets like the softer geopolitical tone. Wall Street opened August with a rally, and the Dow closed at another record high, helped by easing oil prices and hopes that Middle East tensions won't spiral immediately. Amazon also crossed a huge milestone, topping $3 trillion in market value for the first time after a record close. That puts it in very rare company and reinforces a story investors keep betting on. Giant tech still has the scale, cloud profits, and AI upside to justify these massive valuations. The catch is that the whole sector is now under pressure to prove that all this AI spending actually turns into durable revenue.
That's the key tension. Investors are rewarding scale right now, but they're also getting less patient about blank check AI buildouts. On the tech side, Washington is reportedly preparing talks with Google, Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic and others on voluntary AI safety testing. That comes as Europe's AI transparency rules are now taking effect under the EU AI Act, requiring companies to tell users when they're dealing with AI systems and to label some AI-generated or manipulated content, including certain deepfakes. Together, those two developments show the shift we've been waiting for. AI governance is no longer theoretical. In the US, it's still more meeting-driven and voluntary. In Europe, it's becoming enforceable. For companies shipping AI products globally, that means compliance is no longer a side issue. It's becoming part of product design.
And once regulation hits product design, everything slows down a little and gets more expensive. That's not necessarily bad, but the freewheeling phase is clearly ending. One more tech story worth watching. Apple is reportedly challenging a UK demand tied to iCloud access in what could become a major test over encryption, privacy, and government authority. If the UK succeeds in forcing broader access, the implications go way beyond one market. This is the kind of case that shapes how companies build security for everyone, not just British users. At the same time, Samsung is banning smart TV apps linked to residential proxy sharing, cracking down on software that lets strangers use a home internet connection through consumer devices. Different issue, same theme. Tech companies are being pushed to take a much harder line on user security and network abuse.
And users usually only notice these fights after a loophole becomes a scandal. By then, the policy battle has already started. And to wrap up, a quick culture note: Amazon is developing a Warhammer 40,000 animated event series with Henry Cavill producing, which is a big signal that the franchise expansion is getting very real. Also in brief, Germany has reportedly hit a major energy milestone, with wind and solar overtaking fossil fuels for the first time.
That's it for this morning. Thanks for starting your day with us.
We'll be back tomorrow with the stories that matter most. Have a great day.